King has equaled the god, and India has cemented its position at the top of the points table. We are all excited, and here we are back to talk about India's journey so far, today's match, and what lies ahead. So, we'll start with Pragun. Pragun, what are your thoughts on India's win, and how has the journey been?
I think today's win was a very emphatic win, at least, and it was a clash of table toppers, but it didn't look like that.
Yeah.
It looked like that we were playing against a school side. Uh, Kohli making his century, I think that was one of the best things. But to be honest, in this tournament, like you asked, how has the journey been? For me, the journey uh, has been a bowling dominant journey. I love to see them bowl. I think we Touchwood currently have the best bowling attack, at least in this World Cup.
And as a lot of players, especially people like Gautam Gambhir, like to term it, batters win you matches and bowlers win you tournaments. So let's hope that the rhythm that they've got, because it's not easy. See, it might look easy at the moment, but it's not really easy to travel back to back and go to different stadiums, get used to it, and bowl the same line and length every time. Because there's pressure every time, even if you're playing a team like Netherlands or Bangladesh. And in these last 2-3 matches, they played England and South Africa. So that tells you the kind of mentality Indian bowlers have at the moment. And especially the batters also, they also deserve some praise, especially after today's match, because we have seen
Definitely.
Indian batters struggle miserably on slow and turning tracks, but India played out smartly and scoring over 300 on that kind of a track was so commendable.
I think when we saw how the two innings played out, I think 250 was far.
Yeah,
And the way I think one of the most underrated things about this match would be the way Rohit Sharma played. I think his knock was a big difference into the two sides. Obviously, Virat playing sensibly and going on to make his 49th, and even Shreyas Iyer taking his time early on in the innings and then converting it into a big score was 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 something that helped us to get to 326. But the way Rohit attacked, I mean, we outscored them in the power play just because of Rohit. I think we scored more than 90 runs in the power play,
yeah.
and they were bowled out for 83. I think that was one of the most underrated things about today's win.
And if you talk about Jadeja, because we'll all talk about Virat Kohli, and a few people will talk about Shreyas Iyer because he was out of form. He had a lot of questions on him, and to score these kind of runs, of course, he started very badly, if I would say, at about 10 runs in 30 odd
Definitely.
balls, and it was a pretty Chris Gale-ish type of innings because you start slow, and if you get out, you'll end up being that bunny who will be targeted after the match. Because of you, we had a pressure on our team, but he played that out well and he covered pretty good. But if you talk about Jadeja, he's been so spot on since the first match, and he's shown us that if there's slightest of help in the wicket, he's somebody to watch out for, somebody who's very difficult to tackle. And even Kuldeep Yadav chipped in with a couple of wickets. Unfortunately, Mohammad Shami could not get more wickets. We wanted him to get another five for maybe a 4 wicket haul. He's just bowling like a dream, man.
When you said that Jadeja is difficult to read, I would go on to say that I think on these conditions he's unplayable.
Yeah,
I don't think even if our batters get the chance to play him, I don't think they will be able to play him any better than the South African batters.
yeah.
And on Shami, I think I have a part to play in Shami's form. When I
Okay.
went to see the match, Shami played his first match. That was my first match in a stadium, and Shami played in the game against New Zealand, and we all know how he has performed in the last four games. So I will say that I played some part in it.
Okay, for the people who don't know, Pragun traveled all the way from Noida to Dharamshala in his car and to watch the match. And luckily, he got to witness one of the finest Mohammad Shami spells. Then the match being stopped because of fog and Virat Kohli's 95 and all that. And it's been special. And after that, even I went to watch a match. Yeah,
You went to two matches, I think.
yeah. India versus
You should
Afghanistan and India versus England.
you should check out the vlogs.
Yeah. Thank you for the promotion.
Definitely, definitely.
Okay, but on a serious note, do you think that Indian team has some sort of concerns to be worried about?
I don't think there are any concerns. I think the only concern, if if you have to pinpoint something, would be Surya Kumar's batting. But I don't think that is also he has also been in some good form in the last three games, so I
Yeah,
won't
he
say too much
batted
about it. I
he
think
batted pretty well against England in Lucknow, scored 49 crucial
and
runs.
and even today I think he was decent. So I don't think there is any. The only problem I had was Hardik's replacement. Obviously, we wish him well, and I would have liked if he was in the team, but then
Hardik
I don't
Pandya's
like
case,
Prasid Krishna's as a replacement.
of course, there were a lot of options. You could have brought a proper batsman. You could have brought somebody like Tilak Varma. So I'm not a big fan of Tilak Varma, and personally, I don't really want him to be there in that squad. But if you think from an all-rounder's point of view, maybe Tilak Varma could have helped. But I mean, that's just fine to not have Tilak Varma and have somebody like Prasidh Krishna, because the way England has played, they've shown us that the depth in batting does not really matter unless you play good cricket. So India has gone with six proper batters and five proper bowlers. But my actual concern regarding that Hardik Pandya case is that I've been saying this for a long time, about a couple of years, when Hardik Pandya got fit and back into the team. As soon as Hardik Pandya got fit, India just forgot. I mean, just removed those players like Vijay Shankar, Venkatesh Iyer, Shivam Dubey. Everybody was forgotten. Even Deepak Hooda, if I would say, all those all-rounders were completely forgotten and sent to the back burner. And from that point of view, and from that point in time, I was so curious, so nervous that if Hardik Pandya gets unfit, gets injured during the World Cup or just before the World Cup, will India have any options? And in fact, India A is not playing consistently for a long time. Even if you had players playing for India A, you could have trained them. But there's no such preparation going on. I'm really not sure what's really going on. But let's hope India don't miss Hardik Pandya. And of course, he's the T20 captain as well now.
Obviously, he's the T20 captain. The main concern I have is like you named Tilak Verma. You could have gone with someone like Akshar Patel. But if you wanted to have someone like if you wanted to go in the direction of a bowler like Prasid Krishna, I think it would have been better if we would have a fit Deepak Chahar in the squad.
Yes,
In
definitely.
my opinion, he's he's a better bowler than Prasid Krishna, at least in swinging conditions. I don't think Prasid Krishna is anywhere
Yeah.
near him. Maybe he's a bit slow on the pace, but that's something that shouldn't be any big trouble. But the thing that he offers with the bat, I think that would
Yes.
have given me some assurance. But I don't think we will need Prasid Krishna or Deepak Chahar for that matter.
Let's hope all these 11 players stay fit till the 19th of November, provided we reach that date. And
No, we will.
okay, and if we reach that date, has a couple of meanings. Like India qualifies for that particular day, or we stay alive by surviving these constant earthquakes that we are suffering these days.
The earthquakes are fine. The
Okay,
earthquakes are fine. We will survive and India will reach. Don't worry.
hope
Full
so.
faith.
And do you think, are there any concerns with Shubman Gill, because he has struggled whenever the pitch has something in for the bowlers? He's been splendid when the pitch has been helping the batters, but when it comes to a bowling friendly conditions, he struggles more often than not.
I think the one thing we have in our favor currently is that yes, he has struggled on pitches where there are support to the there are support to bowlers. But we have our next three games, one in Chinnaswamy. I think that shouldn't be a problem against Netherlands.
Yeah,
Second in Wankhede, we will all
yeah,
if we don't play Pakistan, we will play in Wankhede.
yeah.
So I don't think that would be a concern for Shubman Gill. And third in Ahmedabad, I think I can blindly say that if there is a batter I have full trust in Ahmedabad, it is Shubman Gill.
Shubman Gill,
I have full trust in him. Shubman Gill.
definitely.
And the thing is, he was speaking after the Sri Lanka game. He said that he has lost some weight due to dengue. I think it
Yeah,
was 5 or 6 kilos. So I think that also plays some part in it. He has been
true.
struggling, and it's not been just this World Cup. It was evident in Test matches also. But I don't think that there is too much to worry about. I am pretty positive about everything.
And what about the law of averages? Do you think India will survive law of averages just like Ricky Ponting's Australia, or will it play out similarly like it has been playing since the last 10 years?
To be honest, obviously we could. I wouldn't want, but we could lose. But I don't think law of averages play anything. What we can't defeat law of averages.
Yeah.
It isn't like that we would take a defeat against any team. I wouldn't have wanted to have a defeat against England or against Sri Lanka or against Australia or against South Africa. So I am more confident if we go into the finals or the semi-finals without any loss. So I would say I don't care about law of averages. I think that it isn't a too much of a big thing that it will stop us.
And if you see the people listening to this podcast, they'll be like, yeah, these people are quite negative. We are all see all of India is happy at the moment, and we're talking about the negatives, the concerns. But I think it's important to stay in the moment. Even as fans, see, we are not journalists or we are not any big sports media professional. We are also fans. So, from a fan's point of view, it's important to stay in the moment and not get too ahead of your times, get too carried away with these wins, just like Rohit Sharma says after the match. So, that's just our concern that we are talking about. And one last concern, and it's not just because I'm an Indian supporter, but just my basic logic that says if you're having a league stage, a round robin format where a team is playing 9 matches with just 15 players, of course, that strength is quite low, but with 15 players, you're playing 9 league matches. And if a team is finishing at the top of the points table or even at the second position, they should have some sort of advantage like teams do have in IPL. See, it won't look good if an Indian team with 18 points loses to a New Zealand with 10 points in the semi-final. So that to avoid that thing, you should have something like that we have in IPL.
So I would personally disagree on that
Yeah,
fact because I believe because just because we are having 9 league games doesn't mean that we have to have that cushion of playing qualifier one and then the qualifier two if we lose the qualifier
yeah.
one. I believe that if you are good enough to be at the top, let's say India has won 9 out of 9 games, and we are good enough to be on that top position and going into the semifinals without injuries, then I think we should be good enough to win 2 games in a row. I was watching this interview of Adam Gilchrist. He said that you play out league stages of a World Cup, and then when the knockout starts, you don't care about what happened at league stages. It's just the next 3 games or 2 games. You just care about those 2 games. So I think that's the method any team should employ, be it be it India who would in all likeliness finish first, or be it South Africa who might be finishing in second or third. So I don't think any team should look like we should have an extra added advantage just because we finished first and second. I read a quote of Usain Bolt. He said that he practiced all those years and he ran a total of under 1 minute in Olympics. So
Yeah,
if that 1 minute, if that time of under 1 minute was going to decide his fate, then why should it be a concern just because we are playing cricket and there should be a cushion for because just because you finished in the first two.
that's a whole new different point of view, the perspective that we often talk about at our podcast. And it reminds me of like you gave an example of Usain Bolt, and exactly just like it happens in Olympics. It doesn't matter if you're a top ranked player or a bottom ranked player. It comes down to that particular day. And of course, people who know me, I've given this example a lot of times of Johannes Vetter losing to Neeraj Chopra in 2021 Tokyo Olympics. Johannes Vetter had crossed 90 meters a lot of times that year, but on that particular day, if I'm not wrong, he could not even cross 85 meters, and Neeraj Chopra won the gold because he performed on that particular day. So, of course, and as the ICC's tagline says, as Shah Rukh Khan says it, all it takes is one day. So, you've got to be on your toes on that particular day and win that game and stay truly in that moment.
Absolutely, I agree. I totally agree with that. That if you are good enough to be great on those 9 days where you won the league games, I think that you should back yourself to be good enough on those 2 days. And if you are
And
India, I think if we reach the final, I think we have a big chance to win it, because I don't think coming into Ahmedabad with 1 lakh 30,000
Yeah.
or 1.5 lakhs, 1.5 lakh people cheering one team, I don't think mentally you can defeat a team like that. It's only if we make a mistake, then only we can maybe lose. I don't think even one mistake would be able to do that. But I think if we reach the Ahmedabad, I think it's we will be lifting the trophy.
You're so right about that because, of course, we've been watching cricket throughout our lives on TV. And when I was in Lucknow, Lucknow's capacity is about 50,000, and almost all seats were covered. Hardly a few seats were empty. And when England was batting, and even we could feel that energy in the stadium, in the players. And when Mohammad Shami, or a fast bowler, was running, and there was who, and it puts us so much pressure on England's batter. So of course, when you play with double capacity, in fact more than double, 1.2, 1.3 lakh,
More than that.
so that puts a lot of pressure on not just the opposition but Indian players as well. But they know that support, that hooting is for them. So of course, crowd
Obviously.
plays a big part.
Obviously, I would totally agree. Like just you said that I was in Dharamshala. I think the capacity at Dharamshala is even lower. I think it's
Yeah,
23,000 or
yeah,
30,000. So those 23,000 or 30,000 people, if they are behind you, I think it it makes a it makes a big difference, I would say. Obviously, if you are India and you are going to Australia, or even if we will be going to America next year for T20 World Cup, I don't think that you will be short on support
yeah.
anywhere in the world.
Anywhere, yeah,
But when you are playing at home conditions, everyone plays IPL, and everyone
yeah.
is obviously from very different teams, so everyone has a idea about certain locations, certain stadiums. But when you have that, I think the backing of 1,30,000, it's a massive number. I don't think you can defeat us at Ahmedabad.
That's so true. And in fact, after today's match, Star Sports give a sort of teaser of their new docu-series about Virat Kohli. And in that particular teaser, Virat Kohli said that if there were not
Uh,
90,000 people in MCG, maybe I would not have been able to do that because that crowd support gives me energy. And that is same for the Indian team, right? Not just for Virat Kohli.
I think barring Rohit Sharma or maybe even KL Rahul or Mohammad Shami to some extent, I think other players other players are huge on that support of the team. I think they take a lot of they improve when they have that support. For I think Virat is the prime example of that.
Yeah.
If he has the support, if he is in the mood, even if on the field, he got out for a duck in Lucknow, but on the field, it was like he had scored a century. He was
Yes.
so energetic, and I think that plays a big role. When you have players like that, when you have players with that much energy, I think it plays a big role. Similarly, in Test cricket, I think that I hope he returns Rishabh Pant, but I think we were very lucky to have someone like him behind the stumps.
Behind the
I think
stumps.
he never lets the energy get down. Even if someone like Pujara, who is low energy, is standing at silly point or at
Yeah.
slip, he would keep on screaming his
Puji
name
bhai
and
bol ke.
say something. So I think that helps a lot. Obviously, not every player is like that, but I think if 7 or 8 players are like that, I think that helps to
Yes.
perform on these big stages.
And like you initially mentioned, KL Rahul, in that thing, like Rohit Sharma, KL Rahul, Mohammad Shami, and all those players. One thing, see, of course, everybody knows, at least to know me, how much I used to hate KL Rahul, and I used to call him, of course, BKL Rahul. And so the point is that, okay, on this podcast, I'm declaring that if he plays an impactful innings, not just match winning, even in impactful innings that helps India win the match in semi-final or the final. I will never call him BKL. And the second thing is that he is an underappreciated asset of the team because of his keeping skills. If you see, India has been pretty good with the DRS calls, and if you look at his keeping, he is not that out and out keeper. He used to be keeper, but he has been keeping only in T20Is, and he has not played a lot of ODIs. And of course, he's been injured as well for a long time. But if you see him diving to his left, to his right, when the ball goes down the leg, he's been pretty good. And that helps to lift the morale of the team. And I think he's an underappreciated asset of the team. What do you think?
Obviously. just like you said that you used to hate him. The thing is, I don't like him when he opens in T20
T20.
cricket,
Yeah.
but I knew that he's a great player in ODIs.
Yes.
And I remember before the Asia Cup, the team also hadn't been announced. I was out with some friends. I told them that when KL Rahul returns in the middle order, I will have some trust on the batting lineup.
Yes.
I remember those friends laughed at me. They are not laughing now. So, and secondly, on the DRS, I think he has been brilliant,
Yeah.
not just pretty good, he has been brilliant. And on diving to his left, to his right, you said that he only keeps in T20s. I think he doesn't even keeps in IPL. Quinton de Kock keeps in IPL.
Yes.
So
Yes.
for someone like who is not a regular while wicket keeping, to dive to his left, to dive to his right, even when some people claim that our when Indian bowlers bowl, the ball swing a little extra, and then to keep to that, I think it's a commendable effort. And secondly, if not in this World Cup, but in the Asia Cup, I remember it was a match between India and Pakistan where Kuldeep took a fifer. He was keeping and he keeps on telling Kuldeep something or other, and I think that helps Kuldeep a lot. He used to be great when MSD was behind
Yeah.
the stump, because we all know MSD. He's so great with his brain that he tells the spinner especially that where to bowl, how to bowl, which when to increase speed, when to decrease speed. I think obviously you can't compare KR to MS Dhoni, but I
Yeah.
think his support from behind the stump has been a very underappreciated, like just like you said.
And of course, we have talked about, I think, every player. Um, I think,
My,
yeah, we have talked about literally every player. Heavy left.
I think
Bumrah.
we have missed someone, Bumrah. Yeah. Touch wood, he has been he has been so good, yeah. He has been so good. I think we should protect him like he's made of a glass. Once this World Cup is over and we win that trophy, we should keep him safe until we go to South Africa for that Test series. He is so good. He has been so unlucky that he hasn't gone on to take wickets like Shammi or even Siraj
Yeah,
in the
so
previous
true,
games,
so true.
or even Jadeja in this game. He deserves those 5 wicket hauls, three
Yeah,
wicket hauls, 4 wicket hauls. The batters are so scared of him. They don't even take a chance. He deserves those 5 wicket hauls. If we go on to win this World Cup, that, I am wearing a jersey now. It doesn't have a name. I will have Jasprit's name and 93 number on my jersey. I think he has been one of the best. Yeah,
we'll save this part. And if that really happens, so you
it
have
will
to do
happen.
that. And even I'll
Oh,
stop calling
obviously.
Rahul BK and all that. So we've made commitments from our end today, tonight actually. And with that, we'll actually come to a wrap. We've spoken a lot. We wanted to talk about Champions Trophy 2025, how England has been miserable, and how Afghanistan has a really good chance to qualify for the World Cup semi-final this time, because we've seen South Africa has struggled. And if Afghanistan bat first against South Africa in that match, and it will be in Ahmedabad, they'll have a pretty good chance to reach 10 points. And maybe if both England and Sri Lanka beat Pakistan and New Zealand, Afghanistan will qualify.
I think we are asking too much from England and Sri Lanka. I believe in Afghanistan if they play their four spinners, but I don't
Yeah,
think we can believe that England will defeat Pakistan or Sri Lanka will defeat New Zealand.
yeah, yeah, that is a much bigger task.
It's been a really sad time for England.
And like we talked about New Zealand, I think in coming days we'll try bringing an episode specially for this, or maybe we'll try fitting this topic in one of our podcasts. That I think we are somewhere close to spotting our Fab Four for the next generation. Okay, of course, it's a bit tough to call because Shubman Gill has not performed in difficult conditions, and Harry Brook has struggled sort of some way against spin, and Cameron Green has not been able to maintain his place in the Australian team in this World Cup. And fourth player, of course, you have guessed it right, Rachin Ravindra.
Rachin Ravi, but the sample size is too small.
But to come out and score in a World Cup, that speaks
Obviously,
volumes.
obviously, that is something that you can't write that stuff off.
Yeah,
But I believe that still I believe the sample size is too small. I would like to see it in Test cricket and in IPL. Obviously, you would think that we are Indians, so we just praise IPL. But I think IPL is a very big stage. If
yes,
you are able to perform there, then obviously you gain a lot of respect. And
yes,
for me, the most thing I respect about Suman Gill. It isn't his IPL form or anything. I think for me, his best knock is the 91 in Gaba.
Yeah.
Those were as difficult conditions you could get.
Yes.
So, so for me, I don't think I think the sample size for Rashid Navinder is too small. Cameron Green is a freak of the nature. He's 2 meter tall. He's one of the best fielders at gully. He can bowl well. He can bat well. We have seen in IPL. So
Yeah.
I think yeah, you could sometimes should be given, but I think yeah, those four would be the four to watch out for in the next IPL.
Yes. So see, Cameron Green is more of an all-rounder, not a batsman like Steve Smith from that Fab Four. But of course, by Fab Four we mean superstars who bat.
Obviously,
And like you touched upon that, Shubman Gill's 91, I have an idea. Maybe we'll try. Of course, December is approaching soon, and we had Border Gavaskar Trophy starting in December 2020. Yeah, 2020. Maybe we can do a sort of rewinder. Like we can talk about the BGT 2020 someday in a podcast.
sure.
That will be a good walk down the memory line.
I think
And
yeah,
with
that's one of
that,
the best things.
that is the best test series, the best tournament I've ever seen. If you talk about white ball cricket, red ball cricket, Filana cricket, Dhimkana cricket, a World Cup, no, BGT 2020-21 was the best tournament.
Until you see Rohit Sharma lifting a trophy on 19th November.
Yes, that is unparalleled. Of course, I've not seen India win any ICC trophy, so for me, these things do matter.
And to win
So,
it so dominantly.
fingers crossed. Okay, yeah. So with that, we'll end this podcast. I hope you liked it, and we try our really best to keep it under 30 minutes. Of course, nobody's watching till the end, but still, thank you for joining us.